It's minicamp and OTA season, and today we're looking at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and getting another look at Emeka Egbuka. We're going to watch him run through some drills, catch some balls, everything else. Before we dig in, though, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're looking at your rookies in practice. Minicamp, OTAs, rookie camp, training camp, workouts, it's all here. Those quarterback battles, here. Those guys you're drafting in fantasy football in about a month or two. It's going to be here. You're going to want to know what they're doing behind the scenes. Click that button. Stop missing out. We're looking at Emeka Egbuka today. Almost 2 minutes of clips. We'll loop them and keep talking ball. But here we go. There he is. There he is. Here's another one. Baker Mayfield. Getting it downfield. The Bucs are very interesting here at wide receiver. Nice grab. Nice grab. Very interesting at wide receiver because we look at them and we see Godwin. We see Evans. McMillan's got a good rapport with Baker Mayfield. They drafted Egbuka in the first round. And then you look at it statistically as in production numbers, not tape. There's some comparisons to Godwin with those production numbers. But when you look at Emeka Egbuka, you're looking at a sound player. So taking it from the top, you're looking at a 5-star prospect coming out of high school. We go to Ohio State, and they're littered with 5 stars. They're littered with 5-star wide receivers. Some of them have to transfer out. Some of those wide receivers just never really blossom, be on the field. Like the fact to be on the field at Ohio State says something about you because you're able to ride with the big dogs there. Like, I think we all know that. Jeremiah Smith, Marvin Harrison Jr., Emeka Egbuka was always there. We had some injuries mixed in throughout our career. We were there for some extra seasons, but we were productive. We were a key part of that team. And the thing about him is he's a very nuanced technical route runner. We're a thick wide receiver. We're thick. We create yards after contact, yards after the catch due to that. Very strong. You can be a power slot. You can move him around. He's technical. He can be on the outside. He's a player that will adapt to the system quickly. He's a player that going to a new team will develop to that team and be able to become a key piece sooner than later. We got a lot of competition on this offense. So I would not be surprised if there's a longer rookie ramp up for him. I would not be surprised if that happens and we just get some flashes here and there. And then next thing you know, year goes by, 2 years go by. It's him, McMillan, maybe one of the vets. Would not be surprised if he becomes the guy there. You also got Tez Johnson, who's been doing some good things in practice. Paying attention to him. He's a good route runner. He's slippery. Egbuka, though, is a standout kid, too. So this is a kid, very smart, very mature, hard worker. It's one thing about Emeka Egbuka. So you're going to have a guy here that's going to work hard to develop, and he's going to fit this team well. I believe Baker Mayfield, as we get into training camp, you're going to hear more and more and more about how he likes this kid. You're going to hear more and more and more about how he likes this kid. So I mentioned the rookie ramp up. I kind of give that with almost all the rookies. I give them a grace period to develop. Like that rookie season, I expect them to have like a slow start. And I said extended rookie ramp up for him because, I mean, obviously the depth chart there is pretty deep. We got some talent there. Like, Mike Evans is going to get his target share. He ain't going to give it away. Chris Godwin, if the leg's holding up, he ain't going to give it away. McMillan, we ain't going to forget about him. He was on a hot streak on the back end of the season. He was on a hot streak in training camp. He has a good rapport with Baker Mayfield. He's going to compete and not give it away. He's a very good wide receiver. I think over time, that could be Emeka Egbuka, McMillan. Maybe they add somebody else. Evans and Godwin's not going to be there forever. And this is also a selection saying, hey, We know this. Another thing, too, they got hit with some injuries last year at wide receiver. And one thing that you'll notice, teams will pick up a talented player in the draft that falls to them out of position group you feel like they're stocked up at, but considering the year prior, they got hit with a couple injuries. Next thing you know, they're revamping. They're adding depth. They're adding talented depth. They're adding that pick. They're adding something there. And you'll see this with multiple teams. So they got hit with some injuries last year. Godwin got hurt. I think Evans got hurt for a little bit. McMillan got hurt for a little bit. They got hit with some injuries last year. They want to make sure they're right. It's not like they're going through these seasons unscathed at the wide receiver position. They want to make sure they're right. They want to make sure they're talented from top to bottom. This team thrives in the passing game. They use their running backs in the passing game. They like to have 2 running backs out there. They like to be creative. If they like to be creative, they want more than just 2 good wide receivers or even 3, depending on how you looked at this wide receiver depth chart, just talking broadly. They want to add talent. They want to make sure they're good to go no matter what the situation is or what their goal is. And they are known from last year as being very creative, especially with what they're doing with the running backs. They're going to catch some more parity in the league. It's teams using 2 running backs at the same time. More plays than usual because they didn't invent it, obviously. Obviously. You can play Madden and do that back in like 1995. But Emeka Egbuka is more than just this first-round rookie that we're waiting for him to be the guy. There's also reasons behind it outside of that. And I guarantee those were part of the factoring in of drafting him. I guarantee it. I did not hear it on any interviews. There might be some out there that came my way. But I guarantee it because that is the parity I see in the league a lot. But I'm going to say this. Good route runner. He's very technical. Hands are sticky. Has power after the catch, which is a rare trait at the wide receiver spot. It could be a power slot for you. That power slot, short yardage, goal line. You need 5 yards. Boom, quick slants. See what we can get. Boom, downfield by the goal line, back corner, by the edge, wherever. You got Godwin, you got Evans tested up on, you got him, McMillan in the middle. This is a wide receiver depth chart you don't want to mess around with. Baker Mayfield loves to push it downfield. Baker Mayfield needs targets like this because you got a quarterback that's aggressive. You might as well keep feeding him. You got Bucky Irvin, who looked good last year. Very solid running back prospect. But I think Emeka Egbuka is a guy to pay attention to. Now, if you're talking about fantasy football, lottery ticket deep play for redraft, I'm looking at running back a lot for my lottery ticket plays. I would be having my finger on the trigger on him, depending on how deep your league is. But considering what we got at wide receiver, you got to pay attention to that. However, we'll talk about that. We'll do the You Need series pretty hard in August before the season. All the rookies with ADP or even past it will be discussed on those. So each rookie will get a video. On top of that, a lot of the younger players, a lot of the ambiguous players, talking about their value and strategizing around them. It's called the You Need series because we talk about whether or not you need them for your fantasy football team, and it's objective to how your team's built and how you feel after you get the data and information. No bias, no selling. Then for Dynasty, I put him in the delayed asset class. So what that means is this is a rookie that has some players in front of him, but is obviously talented and has draft capital. So I might pivot from him in some drafts and pick up maybe the running back of my choosing. That's more likely what's happening. And then I'm looking to scrape my chips together middle of the season and try to buy low. Try to buy low a little bit. Try and get them. Now I got a better outlook of what's the next season's going to look like for draft season. I have a better look come October. Is that manager in it to win it? If not, I'm going to try and get him. If he is, I'm going to probably have a better success rate because I can offload those veterans I don't need anymore. If I'm in it to win it and I really need those veterans, I may have to hold off. But I'm also playing that game where I'm in multiple leagues where I'm probably going to pick up some shares. September, October, Halloween time. I'm looking to get more shares. I'm still drafting them. I'm in multiple leagues. I like to play portfolio style, kind of like how you don't have all your money in one stock. I have a portfolio and I have a strategy. So I know that's going to take some time for him to see the field unless attrition hits. And if attrition's not hitting, I'm going to try and get in there and throw some vets out there that I'm willing to offload to get back in there. And that happens more often than not. We could do that with Jack Smith and the Jigba. We saw his price tag drop a bit as people were waiting, and now it's back up. That being said, that could potentially happen. You can get burned on that. He could just come out on fire. And that's just part of the gamble, but it's also part of the strategy because you also got a deep running back class you're looking at. If it wasn't a deep running back class, and say it was last year's running back class, I wouldn't care. I'd be drafting him. If it wasn't a deep running back class, I would not be playing that strategy. I'd be just drafting him and I'd have a ton of shares. Let's play it like that. Like I'm looking at him, Jonathan Brooks, Trey Benson. I'd be drafting the first round wide receiver. Let's just be playing it like that. This year's class is an anomaly with how deep the running back position is. If you're talking dynasty, if you're talking strategy, if you're talking strategy with your drafts. Now, if you're talking strategy with your drafts and people aren't talking about like what's your strategy 6 months out with these rookies as well, 1 year out, 6 months to 1 year out, then they're really doing you a disservice because it's more than just, hey, player good, player bad, rookie draft right now. Also, what can I pay down to? What can I do this? Just throwing ideas out. The thing is, it's not about being right. It's about throwing enough ideas out to help the person make their decision. Because oftentimes, that player you're talking up isn't even going to be available. Isn't going to be tradable. But if I throw enough ideas out, you're like, hey, I see the same situation with this other player. I can implement this strategy. That's how you help them out. When I'm looking at Emeka Egbuka here, I'm looking at a player that's very talented, good head on his shoulders. I think he's going to do something in the league. When I'm looking at top-end production, I think it's really going to be how the offense plays out, how quick he gets through the depth chart, gets up to the top. Baker Mayfield fuels wide receivers. I think that's going to be a huge plus for them. They love Baker. He's going to be there forever, it feels like. I think he's in a good spot. This is a very good kid. This kid came to my hometown. We have this thing called the Scarecrow Festival. Him, Trevion Henderson, a few other players came down, and they came to speak, and I was not able to speak to him. I got blown off by the newspapers and everybody. I tried to get in there. And so I had to go and get accounts. And all the accounts were good, especially on Emeka Egbuka. Very mature kid, very smart kid, very polished kid. That is the only bit of insider information you're going to get from me. Outside of that is everything I study up on. But it's like common sense stuff, so it's not really insider information. That's about the only thing I got from this class that I can really take from a personal account, digging that up. But I got slept on by my own hometown, but I ain't going to sleep on you guys. I know how it feels. I want to thank you guys for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.